Welcome to My Favorite Bitch, where we talk openly about the good, the bad, and the oh my fucking god ugly of raising dogs, and sometimes other non-canine pets, including the human ones. We might talk about poop, and we might swear, so fair warning. Thanks for joining the pack. Now let's get this ball rolling. For a game of fetch, of course. Hey everybody, welcome to My Favorite Bitch. This is the podcast where we share honest tales about the good, the bad, and the are you gonna clean that poop up ugly of raising dogs and other pets. I'm your host, Beth Campbell, author of Where the Hell is My Bacon? And today I'm going to present to you, my dear friends, the My Favorite Bitch top 10 dog walking pet peeves. Oh yeah, we're gonna go there. And admittedly, I have violated some of these, so I will have to shame myself here. But we're going to get a little judgy, just a skosh judgy today. So I don't even want to talk about what's going on in my life because I don't know. It's winter and it's been gloomy and gray and rainy, and so who fucking cares? Let's just jump right into the top 10 list. I got a lot to talk about. So in no particular order, I'm going to give you my top 10 dog walking pet peeves. And at the end, I'll tell you which one is my number one. So, but this is in no particular order. So let's just jump into it. Number one, people who let their dogs poop on other people's lawns and don't clean up. I know this is a no-brainer, right? We've all had it happen to us in residential areas. You come out and there's a pile of dookie sitting at the curb and you're like, who the fuck is that? You know who it is. You kind of suspect. Maybe you just don't catch them in the act. For me, there's no excuse for this. There have probably been a small handful of times in the 15 years that I've been raising dogs where I've forgotten my poop bag and one of the dogs has shit. I'll go back and clean it up. You get the dogs home. And by the way, I've used whatever I have on hand to clean those up. Sometimes I carry bags of treats and I'll just use that to clean it up if I can, if it's hard enough. If it's a little squishy like chocolate pudding, no, we'll come back. But I'll come back. If I can't get to it right then, it's the right thing to do. It's your duty to clean up your duty. So remember that mantra. It is your duty to clean up your duty. So clean it up. It's fucking disgusting. And there's no excuse for it. Just if you forget your bag, go back and be prepared. Not to tangent off, but if you listen to my episode on my preparation for walks using my Mary Poppins, it was a review of my Mary Poppins dog walking carpet bag. I always carry plenty of bags with me. Occasionally in the past I've forgotten, but right now I always have spares in my bag and I always have my bag with me. When I'm thinking about it, which is usually the case, I like to prep my poop bags. Why? Because there's nothing worse than your dog has taken a monstrous shit on your neighbor's lawn in broad daylight and you can't get the bag open. So I always open my bag. I pre-open my bag and I usually do 3 of them and then put them inside of each other so they're all ready. I just kind of roll them up and put them in my pocket. So there you go. Dog mom walking hack, poop hack. Prep your bags beforehand. You will thank me someday. All right. Number 2. Speaking of number 2 is about number 2 too. Number 2 pet peeve is people who leave their poop bags at the curb. Just leave them in front of people's houses. It happens all the time. I don't know what it is. I think for some people, this is what I think. Some people, not everybody. I think some people are walking around and they're just starting out and their dog takes a shit and who wants to carry that thing around? I don't. I've thought in the past, I've contemplated, I've pondered, I'll just leave it here at the curb. I'm going to loop around. Our neighborhood's got a lot of loops. A lot of people are going to repeat their steps. So maybe somebody like me thinks, well, I'm going to pass by here again. But then I don't do it. I don't do that because I know I'll forget. And so I think that for some people, maybe that's the case. For other people, I don't know. I have no idea. You've already done the dirty part. You've already scooped up the shit into the bag. So what, you have to carry it around with you? It's protected. It's not going to get on you. Double bag, triple bag it like I do. Anal retentive dog mom. That's what you do. I don't know why people. So there was a guy, one of my neighbors. I'm going to say it's a guy because this sounds like a guy thing. Maybe it was a Karen. I don't know, but I'm going to say it was a Brad. Somebody apparently got sick and tired of people leaving their poop bags near their house. So they constructed this thing. I saw it one morning. It was dark out. It was kind of under some pine trees around on a corner of a house. And there was a sign on a piece of cardboard that was attached to a stake in the ground. And it said, "Stop doing this." And hanging from this stake was said bag of poo that somebody had left on the curb. So I don't know. I'd be pissed too. I actually thought it was kind of brilliant. I'll try to insert, for those of you on video, I will try to insert a picture here so you can see the glorious protest against people leaving poop in their bags on the curb. Why people? Number 3, pet peeve. People, this is mostly about people. So people who allow their dogs to approach you as you're walking, usually uncontrolled, without asking. There is this belief that if somebody has a friendly dog, or especially the little dogs, that they're just they're all over the place and they approach you. Sometimes maybe it's somebody you know and they approach you. You should never, ever approach somebody with a dog, whether you have a dog or not, without asking first. You don't know what their dog is capable of. You don't know the temperament of their dog. You don't know, even if your dog is friendly and that dog is friendly, what's going to happen when the two of them get together. Never, ever, ever approach somebody without asking. It is rude. And you, as the dog walker, you're under no obligation, none at all, to socialize your dog with other dogs on the street. There's no law and there's no expectation. There's no obligation whatsoever. So if somebody, and I've done this before, if people have approached or let their dogs be kind of out, coming towards us, and I've put up my hand and say, my dog, not my current one so much, but my last dog was a little aloof and protective. And I would put my hand out and say, can you please pull your dog back? My dog's not exactly friendly. And then you feel horrible, but who fucking cares? It's not your fault. Don't let people shame you into that. If just because people have little yippy dogs that they don't think can hurt anybody, it's not an excuse for them to just let them come towards you. And kids are even like the worst. Like, I see people letting their kids come at me with my dog with their hands out, and I'm like, that's a great way to get your hand bitten off, people, or bitten anyway. So number 3, pet peeve: people who let their dogs approach you uncontrolled. Don't do it, and don't let people do it. If your dog is not a dog that wants to socialize or needs to socialize in your mind, or should socialize with this particular dog, stop them. Put your hand out. Number 4, pet peeve. And this is maybe a little controversial. This is people who don't respect when you tell them, just ignore my dog. I'm in training, whatever. I do this all the time. We meet up with people as we're walking, and we've gotten friendly with them. And I have a very friendly dog. She's a Labrador. Everybody loves Labradors, but she's almost 70 pounds now. And we've worked really hard to do some training. We've even just had her in board and train. And I'll tell people, just ignore her, because she does actually pretty good with their dogs, right? She gets excited, but she sniffs. But as soon as the humans pay attention to her, and more often than not, so often, you get people who are just, oh my God, they just think it's okay to get the high pitched voice and kind of get down and start being very excited and animated themselves, which does no good. It just really derails the training. I've had this, this rule with my family when they've come to visit and I've had dogs, is no touch, no talk, no eye contact, Caesar Milan. And it's amazing how adults, like if I'm meeting people on the street or whatever, adults don't get it, right? They just ignore you. They just don't care, whatever. But the kids get it. The kids will be like, oh, okay, I understand. Ignore. They'll turn their backs. They'll fold their arms. And it's amazing how quickly a dog will calm down if you're ignoring it. So any talking, high-pitched motion, that's just like, you want to play with me. And my pet peeve is when you tell people, when you're walking your dog, can you let's just ignore her. Please just ignore her. Please don't engage. And they do it anyway. because they're like, oh, it's, it's a dog and it's a puppy. Fuck you people. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, they're nice people, but still, they're not helping. You're not helping. You're not helping. Okay. Number 5, people who walk their dogs in the dark with dark clothing from head to toe. Do you want to get hit by a car? I admit that I am like uber safety. I worked for a utility company for 17 years, and utility companies are very safety oriented. So I got it drilled in my head for many, many years. Safety, safety, safety. Wear your PPE. Make sure you're seen. So I am lit up like a fucking Christmas tree when I go out. I have a reflective stretchy vest that goes over. I have wristbands that I sometimes wear if it's dark, and I often walk in the dark, especially in the winter, because it's, we don't have a lot of daylight here in the northern parts, the mid-southern northern parts, any parts really other than the equator, or the south this time of year, the southern hemisphere. Anyway, this is not a science lesson. Let's focus, Beth. Focus. So I'm very safety oriented. I've got the headlamp. I've got the reflection. My dog wears something reflective, either a reflective collar or we've got this little light up / reflective collar. Because I want to be seen. I want to make sure when the car's coming, the car sees me front or back. And sometimes I walk, we're in a neighborhood. I don't always walk on the left side of the street like you're supposed to, facing traffic, because sometimes it's not safe to do that because it's hilly and curvy and you just pick the safest route. Whatever. I want the car to see me front to back. And it drives me fucking batty when I see people. I've been had the shit scared out of me a couple of times just walking the dog, and all of a sudden there's like somebody right there. I don't see them. I don't know how people can walk in the dark without any kind of light. They don't even have flashlights, but then they're wearing dark clothes and dark pants. And certainly when I've driven in with my car and encountered people walking their dogs wearing dark clothes head to toe in the dark, I don't fucking get it. It takes so little effort to just put on a white shirt or a white coat or a white whatever, or get some reflective bands, something that's light that's going to show up. And it's like people want to get hit. I don't get it at all. That's one of those things that I've not violated, and it just drives me fucking batty when I encounter people that don't make themselves visible. Number 6 pet peeve: people with multiple dogs talking to each other in the middle of the road. Just move to the side. Really, just move to the side. I got to maneuver my dog around you. I'm already trying to control. Now she's got multiple people, multiple dogs. People, if you're going to engage in a conversation with the neighbors, don't do it in the middle of like a 4-corner T intersection. Move to the side. It's not hard. But you in cars coming, you'd be surprised if people just like, it's like, here's me and here's the world revolving around me. I don't get it. Number 7 pet peeve: dogs without leashes on trails, parks, or really anywhere. When I'm out walking my dog and there's look, here's the thing. I know that there are some people out there that are just fucking phenomenal trainers. We just sent Moxie to a trainer, and she walked my dog without a leash, with an e-collar, through a TJ Maxx, through a Lowe's, through a PetSmart. Great. That's great. If you are under control and you have your dog 100% in control, and I've seen videos and I know people can do it, bully for you. Great. The dogs that are coming at us are not under control. If you're calling your dog and your dog's not coming back immediately, your dog's not under control. And we've had dogs come at us all the time, really, from neighbor houses, like probably twice a month. But on trails, right, people have their dogs off leashes. And one time I was walking across a big field to get to a walking path with my 2 dogs. This is my previous 2 dogs. And this guy was out playing fetch with it looked like a golden retriever. So I wasn't really too concerned, except I had a dog. One of my dogs was reactive. And here comes this dog. He was playing fetch or something, and the dog saw us, and we were pretty far away. I mean, we were not like encroaching upon their territory. This dog came a bolting, and he was not listening to his owner. came right up on us, and the guy was really apologetic. It ends up he was a guy that I was working. It worked at the same company I did. I didn't know him that well, but I knew his face. So we had a conversation, but it was the first time that I had pulled out my pepper spray because, again, it's not necessarily, and it could be, I don't know, just because your dog is a retriever that is generally a friendly dog, I don't know that it's really friendly. I don't know what your dog's going to do with my dogs. I don't know how my dogs are going to react. Again, I had a reactive dog. It would have been completely the guy's fault, not mine. Dog off leash. So pet peeve, people who don't leash their dogs and don't have control. If you're one of those people that has ultimate control, hey, have at it. But if you don't have that ultimate control, your dog better not come at me, because I carry, protection, not, pepper spray type of protection, and maybe some other things. Anyway, okay, number 8. This is kind of a little bit of it's a pet peeve, but it's something that I violate regularly. So, number 8 is dog walkers who are constantly on their phone when they walk. And I'm not talking about like talking on the phone. A lot of people talk on the phone, but I'm talking about looking at their phone and actually like, playing, watching videos, playing games or something while they're walking their dog. You're just missing out. But I say this as somebody who almost daily talks on the phone with a very good friend of mine. And so, I'm sort of a violator. Why is it better or worse whether I'm on the phone just listening and talking versus seeing? I don't know. It probably isn't. So I'm probably being a little too judgy here, but there's something about when somebody's just constantly texting or whatever, and they're just not even paying attention on what's around them. It's like people texting on the street and they cross the road and they're not even looking because they're texting. It just drives me nuts. So, but I do violate it, so I can't get too judgy on that one. Okay, number 9, pet peeve: people who are able to walk their dogs and their dogs are able. So they're physically able, their dogs are physically able, and yet they don't walk their dogs. So I'm not going to go into too much about that. Season 1, episode 11, I talked a lot about this. People that just, you're missing out. It's such a great bonding experience. It's really something that I think is really, really good for dogs. And again, if you're not physically able, or whatever able, and your dog's not able, then okay, but people that are able and don't, you're missing out. So anyway, season 1, episode 11, I went to a lot more detail about that. And number 10 in my favorite bitch, top 10 dog walking pet peeves: people who walk super aggressive dogs that they're not under control. So they're leashed, but they're not at all under control. It's very scary. This actually just happened to my husband and I last night. Was it last night? No, it was tonight. It was just tonight. Wow. Just tonight we were walking along. It's dark because it's winter, and we came upon, I could kind of see them in the distance because somebody had a motion light, and then in some of this, we do have a little bit of street lightage, not much, but a little bit. So I could see the silhouette. Again, another group of people. It looked like a couple with 3 dogs, not really wearing anything reflective, not really, I didn't see any flashlights or anything, but certainly nothing reflective, and they were kind of dark, but their dogs were so animated, it was hard to miss them. And we passed by, we were on the other side of the road, and they had a German Shepherd who just went ape shit. And it was very scary because they clearly did not, it was clearly more than they could handle. And they really should invest in some training for themselves and their dog. Those instances are rare, but they're very scary when somebody's dog who is clearly, I'm not talking about, an excited dog. I'm talking about a clearly aggressive dog lunging and pulling, and they barely have control. It's a very scary thing. And that's why I carry pepper spray. That's why I carry pepper spray, and I carry, a knife in my dog walking bag. Not that would help, and I hope it never comes to that. But for people, if you have an aggressive dog, you got to use whatever tools you can, get some training, and don't walk fucking 3 dogs at the same time, right? Because that was, I think, part of the problem They had 3 dogs. It was the whole family, and this dog was in protective mode. And if they had not held on to it and it got away, who knows what would have happened. I'm pretty sure it would not have been good. So, no, Brad, Cujo is not in control. Don't think about how your walking situation and think about some training. That's all I'm saying. So those are my top 10 dog walking pet peeves. What is my number one? I got to say, only because the aggressive dog doesn't happen very often. My number one will have to be the people walking in the dark with dark clothing, head to toe. No lights, no reflection. That fucking drives me nuts because I don't know where you are. I don't like it in my car. I don't like it when I'm walking my own dogs. I don't know why the fuck you do it. It's easily something that you can easily remedy. Nobody likes to encounter. And I don't care if anybody thinks that I am lit up like a Christmas tree. They're probably saying to themselves as they drive by or with their dogs, I can see her a mile away. Good job, dog mom, dorky dog mom. Yes, that's right. At least that's what I tell myself. Anyway. All right, folks, those are my pet peeves for dog walking. I'd love to hear about your dog walking pet peeves. So what are some of the things that you've encountered or regularly encounter when you're on your walks that make you go, what the fuck? No, just no. Let me know. I am on LinkedIn, Beth Ann Campbell. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, TheBean67. Look me up and let me know what you think. Other than that, I hope you guys are all having a great doggy day or pet day, whatever it is. And now it's time for you to go have some kibble. No, I'm just kidding. You can just take a nap. You had a lot of things to do today, but you know what you did instead? You took a nap. You took a very good nap. So go do that and then play fetch afterwards. All right, everybody, have a good one. Take it easy. Thank you for joining My Favorite Bitch, where we don't hold back about what it's like to raise that little fucker of a pet. We hope you had fun. I'm your host, Beth Ann Campbell, and you can reach me on Instagram or Facebook as TheBean67. That's TheBeann 67. And also on Instagram as Moxie Blue Yule. That's my dog's site, she insisted. I'm also on LinkedIn as Beth Ann Campbell, that's Ann with an E, and check out my YouTube channel, Beth Ann Campbell, where you can find this podcast and other fun videos on the playlist My Favorite Bitch. Remember, we are not trained dog professionals in any way, so please consult the real experts and do your research on anything you hear on this program. We barely know what we're doing. Now go give your pet some snuggles, and we'll catch you after a good nap and some tasty treats. My Favorite Bitch is produced by Beth Ann Campbell and is a product of Beth Ann Campbell, LLC, all rights reserved. Go fetch Moxie. Good girl.